Hello, everybody. First, I want to say thank you all for your prayers and your support you've shown me during this time learning about my mommy's illness. Can't believe I need to do this, but here I go. I need to share it. I was always taught by my grandmother, Catherine Hughes, wherever growing up, me and my three brothers and my one sister were always taught to stay together. Wherever we went, we had to be together and always support each other. Now, many years later, it's not that way anymore. Sorry, I'm a little emotional today because a week ago, Saturday, my mommy passed away. So far, no one in the family has called me and told me that my mommy died. It's a long story, but I gotta share it. I've been living in Texas since 2017, but in July 2021, I came here to Detroit, and I've been here ever since then. I talk to my mommy on the phone every single day, sometimes 5, 10, 15 times a day, and she always leave me a message, no matter if she just called and hung up. It didn't bother me. So my mommy and I were best friends. So I hadn't heard from my mommy in a few days, and I wondered what was wrong. I knew something was wrong, and I wasn't sure why I kept feeling this pain in the back of my head. My mommy and I had a true connection. Whenever she had pain, she would call me, and ironically, I had the same pain on the same side. She had a headache on the right side. I had it too. Anyway, excuse me, this is hard. So today, um, I showed up for a Zoom hearing, but wait, let me back up first. February 28th, I showed up for a hearing in the Wayne County Probate Court because I filed for emergency uh, petition for guardianship of my mom. Now, she had a court appointed legal guardian since 2018. I met this guardian. I won't say her name because I don't want to be accused of bad mouthing anyone yet. But the truth is the truth. So I met this guardian in 2015 when I came back to Detroit from Alaska for the Christmas holiday. At that time, I didn't know what the guardian was supposed to do or why my mommy even needed a guardian. My mommy discussed it with me, and I told her I don't think it's a good idea. She said that she would help her with her basic needs and said that that's all that she really wanted help with. I didn't like the idea. And when I met the guardian for the first time, I didn't like her. I felt like she was not a good person in my spirit. So anyway, let me go back to 2021. I called and called my mommy, and No answer. So finally, I called a friend of the family, and she told me, she says, "Oh, Bernie, your mommy's in the hospital." I was shocked because I didn't know that, and nobody from the family called and told me that. My mommy was in the hospital. Not surprised though, because they don't like me and I really don't care, but I love my family and I always will. But I'm not responsible for how they treat me. I'm only responsible for how I treat them. But I need to do this today. In case you don't know, I'm blind in my right eye. And so I try not to drive at night for the safety of others and for the safety of myself as well. So when I heard my mommy was in the hospital, I just immediately started just throwing stuff in my car, and all I was planning and my focus was to just get to my mommy to see what's going on. I didn't know what was wrong with my mommy. So I got here, and thank God, safely, no issues with my sight, no weather issues, nothing like that. Got here safely, got to the hospital, and I had some flowers for my mom. Yellow roses. So, walked into the hospital, and a staff member comes up to me and she says, "Can I help you?" I said, "Yes. I'm here to see my mommy, Rosemary Hughes." She told me, "We can't allow the flowers." I said, "Well, why not?" She said, "Because she's in intensive care unit, ICU." So, hold on. So when I got there, and I waited and waited, and it was close to 7 o'clock at that time, so it was close to visitation time being over at 8. But I waited and waited because I wanted to see what was going on with my mommy. So someone came down and I asked them, "Can I please go and see my mommy?" And they said, "Okay, you can go upstairs to ICU." When I got there, I saw my mommy laying in the bed, and I was shocked. I didn't know why or what was wrong. But when I saw her, that's what I saw. So I waited and waited, and I started praying and singing to my mom, because I felt like she could hear me even though she couldn't respond. So, a short time later, a doctor enters the room. He finally came in, introduced himself, and explained what happened. My mommy had a blood vessel burst in her head. She became dizzy, she fell, and she struck the back of her head. Then she had a seizure. She didn't bleed outside of her head, but she was bleeding inside of her brain. So that's why I'm here. When I saw all these She had a big tube in her mouth, in her throat, and all of these wires and stuff all hanging out her face and her head and her arms. And I immediately start to pray. She was laying there lifeless, not responding to me. And I said to myself, what happened? So after the doctor finished explaining, I prayed continuously. Visitation was over at 8 o'clock, but around 10 o'clock, I was still there. So finally, someone came in the room and asked me if I'd like to come back in the morning. Visitation started again at 8. So I left because nobody bothered me. So that night, I went back to my car and I just slept in the car because I didn't have a hotel reservation or anything like that. Didn't have time to plan nothing. So I slept in the car so I could be close to the hospital and go in to see my mommy first thing in the morning, 8 o'clock. I continued to pray. I anointed my mommy's head with oil. I prayed and I sang to her. Because even though she couldn't speak, I saw her blinking behind her eyelids. She couldn't open her eyes. I trust God for everything.